We've got a new winner at the BMW Charity Pro-Am, and we take a quick stop at Oakmont on the road to French Lick. Hi, I'm Ryan Ballengee. Welcome once again to the Road to French Lick, a show chronicling the Korn Ferry Tour. This week, we are on the road in North Carolina, getting ready for the remainder of the season. In the meantime, our Brendan Sweeney was just a step to the south in South Carolina, home to the BMW Charity Pro-Am. He'll check in with an interview with Austin Smotherman, last week's winner at the BMW Charity Pro-Am. We'll recap the event down there in Greenville, South Carolina, and we'll get you ready for the U.S. Open, which is played this week at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. But first, let's catch you up on the BMW Charity Pro-Am, played once again, hosted by Thornblade Club and hosted for two of the rounds of the tournament at Carolina Country Club in Greenville, South Carolina. One of the best tournaments on the schedule every year, with 160 Pro-Am teams taking on the first 2 days of the tournament, with a cut in the Pro-Am for the third day of the championship, and then all pros on the final day. Turns out Austin Smotherman was your winner. He shot 25 under 260 to win by 3 shots over, once again, a trio of players who finished tied for second place, including Sebastian Kaplan, Pearson Coody, and Carl Yuan, who was the 54-hole leader after shooting 61 on Saturday at Thornblade Club. In the end, though, it was a mark of consistency for Smotherman that earned him the win, going 65 and 62 in the opening 2 rounds, and then 66 and 67 on the weekend to allow him to overcome that third-round deficit and be a winner by 3. He wins $180,000 from the $1 million purse, and he earns 500 Korn Ferry Tour points, moving him up from 18th position to 4th position in the standings. Now let's hear, right after the tournament, from the winner of the BMW Charity Pro-Am, Austin Smotherman.
Awesome. What's going on, buddy? How's it treating you so far?
Yeah, doing pretty well here at the Lee-Con Classic, so having a good week so far.
How's the year been shaping up for you?
Nice start to the season, inside the top 20 right now points-wise, so a couple top 10s, some good weeks, miscut here or there, but a lot of golf left.
So next week or next couple weeks, you guys are heading back to Dallas. You're an SMU guy.
Yep.
What's it like going back to the hometown?
Nice. I mean, I still live there, so I'm staying in my own bed that week. 35 minutes or so from the golf course, and a little weird to still have a tournament in your backyard, just because your nightly routine, something you do you do every week when you're home, and now it's a tournament week.
So Dallas has become sort of like an incubator of content creators.
Good golf and a lot going on. No shortage of golf courses, people, decent weather. All that combined makes for some good golf content.
How the good guys pretty well?
A little bit. I mean, I've played professionally with Sean Walsh, and then a little bit of Brad Dahlke, Luke Kwan, and then I've met what's his name, the old Grant Horvat that used to be a part of it. I don't know all the connections. I don't follow it as close as some guys, but.
Yeah, we had the Midwestern Open last year up at French Lick.
Okay.
It was absolutely insanity. Guys came out, and I think 3,000 people showed up in a town of 2,500 people. It was just rock star stuff.
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
You have a fun Pro-Am group today.
Okay.
I know a couple of the guys that you're playing with, so man, we wish you the best out there. We're pulling for you.
Thank you. See you at French Lick.
We now update you on the Korn Ferry Tour point standings after the BMW Charity Pro-Am. Johnny Kiefer, who played in the RBC Canadian Open on the PGA Tour, remains your leader in the point standings, now more than halfway through the season of 1,375 total points. S.H. Kim, a winner this year, and a runner-up multiple times, remains in second place at 1,301 points. Hank Lebioda remains in third at 1,289 points, and we now have our fourth player of the year in 4 digits in points. That is Austin Smotherman, who moved up 14 places on the points list to 1,073 points in 4th place. And rounding out the top 5 is Davis Chatfield, who was one of the runners-up in Raleigh. He is at 852 points.
French Lick, Indiana, our little corner of the world, has big things waiting. It's where legends were made. on the court and on the course. Walter Hagen, Colin Montgomery, Betsy Rawls, and Mickey Wright. It's where life is lived to the fullest, and where unexpected adventures are around every corner. Big things are waiting. Are you in? Visit FrenchLick.com and start your escape here in Indiana.
Brendan Sweeney joins me. We're here to talk about the BMW Charity Pro-Am, which is where he was last week, the last edition of the show. Talked to a number of players, talked to Ryan French from Monday Q Info, got the whole lowdown on a great tournament in Greenville, South Carolina. First, before we get into the actual results with Austin Smotherman winning, what were your impressions of the tournament and the time you got to spend there?
I tell you what, my daughter went to Clemson, so I'm a big Greenville fan. It's a great place to be. The people are dynamite. The facilities that they have there are top notch, and you can see that it's a well seasoned event. I mean, with the Pro-Am celebrity aspect of it all, it was just a well oiled machine. From the time I pulled in to the time I left, I felt like a welcome guest, and I was just in the background. The staff was great. The players are great. Greenville's a killer place to be. And to top it off, a lot of the players and contestants had the opportunity to go over to the BMW Performance Center. I stopped over there real quick, said hi to Brian Katrick from XM Radio. I was trying to get out of town. And the commute from the Greenville airport to Charlotte to Orlando was challenging, but effective. So I finally made it home. And that's just the challenges of traveling at that time of the day. So shame on me. I should have known better. So yeah, it was a great event. They have a great sponsor in TD Senate. They have a great charity. And you could really tell that the community turns out for it. Their infrastructure around 18 had to go for 40 yards. I mean, they did it up right. They have some great corporate sponsors. And then, with a great champion with Austin and the way that he finished in three holes in a row and sinking a bomb on 18, that's just crazy. And after, I guess we'll just jump into it now, his story with his caddy went down early and he had to pick up a local college kid to carry his bag for a couple of days. I didn't see how the split went afterwards, but I'm sure he is quite generous with the kid.
I sure hope so. I mean, either way, that's a big week for the kid. He obviously is going to be compensated. And then for Austin, he moves up with a 3-shot win by. He shot 25 under 260, which good luck if you're trying to be a professional golfer at this level, and that's what you got to shoot for. But wins by 3.
I think the record on the course is 27 under that was hit twice. So yeah, they're shooting darts out there. Big wide fairways, big greens. Just go to town.
18's a great finishing hole, though. I got to give it credit for that, being 490, a big ask off the tee. And like you said, with all that corporate hospitality up the left side especially. But it's a big camber, big side hill hole. And for Austin to finish it the way that he did was awesome. Wins by 3 over Sebastian Kaplan, for Pearson Coody, Carl Yuan. Both those guys have been on the PGA Tour. Pearson Coody's trying to get back there, and we'll talk about Austin first. Moves up from 18th in the points to 4th. And now we're kind of at that point in the year where if you've been having a good enough year to get into that top 20 with a win is pretty much locking up your card for next year. And it's going to be pretty tough at this point for Austin Smotherman not to be in the top 20 at the end of this year.
Absolutely. He's having a lights out year. He was doing well. I think he's 4th on the tour or 4th on list. Sound about right?
Yeah, 4th now. So, I mean, he's ready to go. I mean, at this point, I feel like if you're in the top 5 with less than half the season left, you're almost certain to get through and get to the PGA Tour next year.
Yeah, and now you're starting to see some guys really start to shift gears as well. You look at some of the veterans that are out there. Spencer Levine, he's starting to show a little life out there. And then, Scott Piercy, they both shot up significantly on the points list, but they still have a long way to go to push that rock up the hill to get to the playoffs, to get to, the 4 different stages of it, what it takes to become a PGA professional, a PGA champion to get on tour. So a couple of guys that we're looking at from the French Lick point of view, Joe Weiler, he's currently 54th on the list. Tyler Duncan is 49th, and Chandler Bichette, who's actually playing in the U.S. Open this week, he's 32nd. So they all got logos of French Lick somewhere on them, and we just like that a lot. So it helps to have bumper stickers on the road to French Lick.
A little bit of a roadmap too, as well.
Yeah.
Some proselytizers for the resort as well. Speaking of, we just talked about this just before we started recording, but 7 guys that are currently on the Korn Ferry Tour full time are going to be in the U.S. Open this week. That's a big deal for this tour, I think. Kind of goes and shows just how competitive these guys really are, how fine the line is between being on the PGA Tour and on the Korn Ferry Tour, and then that other fine line of being in a major championship and not.
Yeah, and I think the guys that you have to look out for in that group, you got James Nicholls, got Zach Bauchou, got Bobby Diaz. Everybody's we've spoke to in the past. Emilio Gonzalez and Alfredo Ortiz. They're all. I mean, these guys are all scrappers. They're all going to do it. It'll be something. I mean, I was looking at your betting line on Golf Newsnet, and throw a buck on each one of the guys, and if they come in the top 20, you make your money back real quick. And I think every once in a while in the U.S. Open, you get a guy that you never really heard of that shows up on the top 10 leaderboard, and hopefully it's one of our Korn Ferry guys that show up and do it. It would be really exciting. I mean, it'd be great for us. It'd be great for the Korn Ferry, and it'd be great for everybody involved with golf.
Yeah, I mean, the style of golf they're going to play at Oakmont this week is a little bit different than 25 under winning that they played last week in Greenville. However, a lot of these guys on this tour hit the ball so far, and they have so much power, which is exactly what Oakmont requires. So if you can just kind of find enough fairways and avoid the bad damage when you miss the fairways, they might have a chance to surprise some people this weekend, get on a leaderboard.
Well, if you look at a Korn Ferry graduate that won this year, from the University of Illinois, Brian Campbell. I mean, he's a short hitter, but he's deadly accurate. So that could be like a Corey Pavin flashback, of him coming up. So anything could happen in U.S. Open. And I think if you avoid the big oopses and you just maintain golf and get lucky, it's what it takes. And it's a grind if you don't mentally burn yourself out. I mean, we've been around enough U.S. Opens to see guys just, come out of the chute quick and all of a sudden implode over like one hole and they're done. So hopefully none of that happens to our guys and everybody has a great week.
After this week, we've got Wichita, Kansas, one of the longest running Korn Ferry Tour events back to the days when it was the Ben Hogan Tour, one of the great events on the schedule. So we've got that to look forward to. And then that kicks off another
Tom Lehman and David Duvall are past champions there. So that's how far it goes back.
Wild. That is absolutely wild. So we've got that to look forward to. Then we kick off a long run of events. Then before you know it, we're looking into September, and we're looking at that part of the schedule where you get to the Korn Ferry Tour finals. But like you said earlier, now we got to start thinking about not that big number of top 20. We got to start thinking about getting in that top 144, top 125, top 100, top 70. Those are the big numbers guys got to start thinking about if they want to extend their season beyond the 22 events in the regular season.
It's the Korn Ferry, man. And then especially with the cards being reduced from 30 to 20, we've been talking about it all year. And then also with the PGA Tour going from 125 to 100. I mean, that's going to make 2026 so much harder than it is this year, and so much harder than it was last year. So hopefully these guys have a big push in their tank and just get it done, man. Just grind it out and do it. That's all you have to do.
Well, we've got a lot to buckle up for. We're now officially in the second half of the season. Lots of excitement. We'll be here to cover it all with you. And Brendan will be on the road for a bunch. And then we get to meet up at French Lick and kind of celebrate a great year once again at the end of the year. But until then, we'll keep it coming for you here on the road to French Lick. And Brendan, thanks for being out on the road as always.
Cool, Ryan. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
At this week's U.S. Open at Oakmont Country Club in Western Pennsylvania, it'll be hosting for a record 10th time at the National Championship, and the Korn Ferry Tour will be well represented in the 156-player field. 8 players who have some recent Korn Ferry Tour experience will be participating in the National Championship. I wanted to introduce you to a couple of them who we've gotten to know through the show. So first, let's start with Roberto Diaz, or as everybody knows him on the Korn Ferry Tour, Bobby Diaz.
Bobby, how you doing, man?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
How wrap up last year on where you were coming up to the Korn Ferry Championship at French Lick? What were your thoughts and impressions about, number one, the resort and how you played?
Yeah, last year was a all year for me. I played really, really well, and I started getting good results until the end of the year. Luckily I made it to the Tour Championship, and yeah, the Tour Championship was great. I think the golf course was a very good test. It was long, it was demanding, a very good setup. I think it was awesome. So, and obviously the facilities and everything around French Lick were great. You know, the hotel, the casino, the restaurants. You know, all the things that you guys did around town were awesome for that week.
Excellent. Now, coming in from October, now we're in December. What have you been working on since then, and how are you trying to get through this week?
Yeah, just just trying to decompress after the year and just trying to get ready for this. You know, a couple of changes, technique, and just trying to stay sharp.
Got it. Your sponsors, you're going to give a shout out to those guys?
Yeah.
Wait, put it this way. Who's the first person you're going to call after you get your card at the end of the week?
Probably my family first, and then John Rollman and Barry Cox from the Cox Group. They're great people, and they sponsor the tournament. They're in French Lick, and they're from Evansville, Indiana. They're awesome guys.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck and have a great holiday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We also got to know Zach Bauchou last year at the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance out at the French Lick Resort. He had an opportunity, even late on the last day of the championship, to earn a PGA Tour card for 2025. Ultimately was unsuccessful in that task and has gone out of his way to play around the world, including on the Korn Ferry Tour, in an attempt to get the best status possible and the most opportunities possible. He's going to be in the field this week at the U.S. Open, and we talked to him at French Lick last year.
Zach, this is it. The road to French Lick finally came to here. What are your thoughts so far about the golf course?
It's an amazing piece of property. There's definitely a lot going on the course, so you want to get out here and play some practice rounds so you can know where you're going. But it's beautiful, and the course is very hard, so you'll have to play really well to post a good number this week.
Can you sum up your year, just in a quick little blurb of from the beginning and starting in from Q school on?
Yeah, so I started with conditional status from last year and had a couple decent starts early on in the year to secure my starts for the rest of the year, and have played well, but been on the bubble for a while, so trying to get off the bubble and inside the top 30.
Does it start, is the grinding starting to go on now? Does it remind you of any college days of, okay, you got to strap up? And
Yeah, for sure. I think in college you more competing with your team and stuff, but this is the same thing. Like, you're competing against the same guys every week and trying to beat people.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we hope we don't see you back here again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's going to do it for us this week on the road to French Lick. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. This week is the United States Open, presented by the United States Golf Association at Oakmont Country Club in Oakmont, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh. When we return to the Korn Ferry Tour schedule after this week, we'll be in Wichita, Kansas for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas Wichita Open. We will have a new show for you after that tournament as we continue a long stretch toward the Korn Ferry Tour Finals and the season-ending Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance laid at the French Lick Resort. For Brendan Sweeney and everybody at the French Lick Resort, I'm Ryan Ballengee. For everybody at Golf News Net, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the road to French Lick.
You've arrived at French Lick Resort, here in Indiana. 2 hotels you have to see to believe. Legendary Golf by Pete Dye and Donald Ross. Our little corner of the world is like nowhere else. Your French Lick getaway starts now at FrenchLick.com.